Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes to understand how this meditation practice can help for us to develop our inner abilities. So you have to remember, when we practice meditation, it's not going to change these outside things. It's more bring the wisdom yourself to see within your own mind and within your own behavior how things come to be as they are inside you. Because your life experience within your own mind. And sometimes we don't see it. We always look into outside world. So in these sessions, we mainly base with the two kind of mental practice. One is tranquility meditation. Another way we call it chitta bhavana or one-pointness or samadhi. So the samadhi in that pillar, in that path, samadhi is the highest. Samadhi means having undisturbed mind. So undisturbed mind means not you going to resist these outside things, your own mind not going to disturb to you. So how it can happen like that way? Because our awareness always inside us. So what happened? The awareness is always here and there. And it always jump into many places. And because of that, power of awareness is very weak. So through the tranquility meditation, what we does, we bring that whole awareness together. Another way we call it collective awareness. So as example, when you open your palm, the strength that you feel is different. And if you touch a place, if you push something with your open palm, the strength is going to be in a kind of like it spread. But if you close your fist, what happens? The strength that you accumulate here going to be so strong. And so the tranquility meditation, it's kind of like you developing your awareness to one place and bringing that all the strength, that whatever scattered, you bring that all the strength to one place. So that is tranquility meditation. In the beginning, as a basic base, we need that before we go into Vipassana. Our main purpose is practicing Vipassana. So the Vipassana means deeply, thoroughly, vigorously observe, analyze, and recognize. What you recognize? Your own reality. So what is the reality means? Reality means not what happened in the past, not what going to happen in the present, the future. The reality means what's happening right now, right here in this very moment within you. That is your reality. So Vipassana means when you are thoroughly, deeply observe in that very moment. To get into that, you have to have the tranquility mind. Otherwise, how are you going to experience this moment? So then why you don't have the tranquility mind? Because your mind always jumping to past or the future. So then we're going to bring the help out of the tranquility meditation to develop our Vipassana meditation. So in the Vipassana meditation, as example, in the tranquility meditation, you bring that all the awareness to one place. And you develop it with the focus, with the discipline, with the strength, with the awareness to stay undisturbed, observing your primary mental object. So once you develop that, what happened? You are capable to understand the very nature of the strength. So the Vipassana is, you're not going to remain in the same place. You start to become open. But you become open when in that openness, you become more disciplined and you become more strong and you become more aware regarding that any kind of experience that happening to you. So when it happens that way, what happens? Rather than this outside strength, you are capable to get into inner strength, inner effect. So as example, even in the physically, this is how it works. With your closed fist, if you hit somebody, it damages the outside. But with the open palm, if you hit someone, it affects for your inside organs. So the same thing with the tranquility meditation and the Vipassana. Tranquility meditation, you pour more focus to the outside experience. And the Vipassana, you bring more effect to the inside. So that's the base. And when you are capable to practice this way, little by little, as you know, our primary mental object is our own inhalation, exhalation. So when you are settled down with the inhalation, exhalation, what happens? Your whole body, your breathing, your mind start to settle down with that. So otherwise, that our behavior is, it's a kind of like the body and the mind is kind of like a work as a system. That the system, it's a kind of like a processing reactions out of the informations or the perception. It's always happening, always happening. But when it comes to the meditation, from the ancient time to today, there is a method we develop to ignite our inner wisdom. So it is a different way of educating ourselves. So that education in the nowadays that how we use the education word to educate ourselves from outside information, we put it to inside. And that also important for us in this very conventional life, because that conventional life based on that information. So then it is better we know that information to maintain our communication and maintain our lifestyle, because we have to integrate with other people. So, but when it comes to the deeper understanding, it doesn't work. So as you know, everything doesn't work for, all the time. So same like when you come to inner awareness, what you need to do, you have to use all the information to ignite, uplift, open that your inner wisdom, inner knowledge, inner recognition. So when it comes to that, you have to practice you have to develop some kind of discipline within yourself. Why? Because our behavior is always connected to the outside and go into outside, pondering to always outside. So that way, it doesn't work. So then what happened when we ponder to the outside world, that it always ignite not the awareness, not the wisdom, it ignite our three poisons: the greed, hatred, anger, and the ignorance. So that is the reason. When we get the informations, and at the same time, if we ponder to outside, what happens? It ignites our greed, hatred, and the delusion. So our main purpose, the wisdom part, means you bring the ability, when the informations come to you, you convert it to, rather than go towards outside, you convert it to go into inside. So when you go into inside, what you recognize, still you're going to see the greed, hatred, and the delusion, because we have the mental formations, sanskara, or the cankers. So, but there is a wisdom you're going to find. What is that wisdom? The whatever that we experience as the greed, hatred, or the anger, disappointment, or the ignorance, all those negative qualities. Negative here we bring only to practice here, to understand. Otherwise, when it comes to that, we don't take the life as negative, even though it based with the great hatred and the delusion. So, but the practice point of view, we use certain terms and the words and connotations. So, when we turn into our inside inner experience, so as example, just imagine somebody says something to me and I get mad. In that very moment, if I am capable to look into me what I can see. That is the beauty. That is the wisdom that you gain. Because if you go into outside, you go with the greed, hatred, and the delusion, and they will provide many things. No, they are capable to do anything. That's why even that even in the Bible it says, love your neighbor. Look at the world. Why? Because if you don't love them, you're going to get mad about them. So if you become mad, what will happen? It's going to make you crazy. It has ability to do many things. So it is better you go, if you go, it is better for you rather than go crazy. You choose the love path. So if you go inward, what happens? It's not going to disappear your anger. It's not going to disappear your hatred, jealousy, envy. It's not going to, take away your ignorance right away. Once you go inside, once you are able to little bit move back and start to look into yourself, your own moment of experience, anger, hatred, jealousy, envy, disappointment, worry, sadness, not knowing the reasons. So then you see there are some other reasons related to that feelings. That is the beauty that you gain. You're not going to remember when you go inward, you're not going to right away take it out, but you're going to see there are some other reasons related to that. Not only that, what you look in the moment or the outside, in the present moment that you experience as your perception, that ignite that whatever happening to you. So then you have power inside to separate this. Whatever anger, hatred, jealousy that you go through, you have power to separate because you start to see reasons. To know this, that is what we need, this kind of sessions. And now once you hear it, by the time it is very easy for you to target it, point out it, or that go towards it. So that's why that it becomes the knowledge, but now you use that knowledge to go inside and experience your own mind. So then remember, anytime, whatever that happens to you, greed, hatred, and the delusion, so all these three poisons, and try to separate things. And don't allow to mix together, because once that it mixed together, it becomes powerful. As example, you have anger, and the anger becomes so powerful when it comes with the hatred, because it comes with something. But once you go inward, you start to see, and that is where you are capable to separate it. And so, and then by the time what happens, once your awareness becomes sharp, you are capable to separate and keep it away. Like when, just imagine you go to, the Friday night party or somewhere club or wedding or kind of like, people gather and drink. And then when two people start to fight, what you do? And you take somebody, no, you stay away. Maybe you take someone and put it to the room and lock and not allow this person to come in. Why? Because this would come together. If this both come together, it's going to become a fight. So then what you do? somehow, come to go to the middle, and you try to separate them. So to be like that, you have to be strong, and you have to have the compassion, and you have to have kind of like a, good heart to do that. Why? Because it is a risk. And just imagine if you are afraid, if you are weak, and maybe it is your enemy, and you go backward and you start to smile, haha, okay, go ahead, I was waiting for this, so like that. See, that is where you need the strength. Now you go inward, and now you have the strength to yourself to separate. So if the anger comes, don't allow hatred to go and join with it. If there is a fear come, don't allow it to join with the anger. Because then it's going to become, crazy. Sadness come. Those are things that we can't get out of it. It's the very behavior, until you attain to the some kind of high mental powers, So if the sadness arise, and then don't allow your anger to join with the sadness. That is the key point. That is the power of the mind. That is the power of awareness. You seeing your own inner behavior. That is the beauty. That all the successful people in the world, and they had that ability, because when they go towards something, it always the resistance going to be there. Listen this very carefully and try to grab it to yourself. When you have a kind of like the goal to attain to something, to do something, finish something, while you go towards the finish line, what happens? There are inner behaviors come against you. Maybe you see it kind of like with the outside reasons, and maybe you point out to the environment. But if you are capable to keep going, rather than allowing that whatever the inner feelings to come and join with your journey, and that is where you make the journey happen. So it's the power of separation, and keep it separate, so that when it comes to the mind, the same, because the mind or the heart or whatever the consciousness, if you don't have the discipline or the train and the awareness, when we can put it this way, it doesn't have the awareness in the present moment. That means reality. So remember, reality doesn't mean, oh, sunrise, moon, it's there, or the stars or the wind, trees. That is, you experience it in the moment. That's why we call it as a reality. So your moment of experience is the reality, not that whatever happened outside. So when your awareness come to the reality and connect with that, and that is where you have this ability. But if your awareness is not there, what happens? And it mixed together. It mixed together, because the brain, the heart, the mind, or you name whatever, the mechanism of us as an ordinary person, it always it's kind of like a information processing system, always to build up something out of the perception. That's what we do. We build up something out of the perception, whatever we perceive. So then if you are capable to separate, what happens? Now you pass that moment, and once you pass it, once you go inside, and once you know that your thoughts separate, you're not allowed to mix it together. And in that very moment, there is no power for that to develop as a reaction, because the reaction come, it all need to come together. So there is no reaction. There is no return that you do for your perception. And sometimes we say, return is kind of like your revenge. You do something, I will give the return. That's how we live, to give the return to others. But remember, you can't give a return to somebody. It's going to return to you. That is the very basic method of the karma, returning. So once you know that, it's a kind of like a non-retaliation. There is no counterattack for any perception, any feelings. That is the power, that is the wisdom that you have to develop in you. So it comes as a power of consciousness or the awareness. There is no magic. There is no the deities or the unknown, unseen, that the power can come to middle you and make you calm down and make everything nice. It's not like that. And that is the power of freedom that you gain. That is what you recognize as emptiness. That is what you kind of like, you recognize selflessness deeply, because you now know that when your own inner feelings, thoughts, the emotions, when that all come together, it comes as a reaction. And now you have the ability to return things, keep things away, separate things. When you have ability to separate things, you change the outcome. When you are capable to do that way, it's like you create a kind of like a one-way action and no return. That's where you eliminate the power of karma. And when you are capable to just make a action, forget about the enlightenment. Okay, just try to make it very simple. Well, let's go with the very material way, and then you will see how it can go into the eternal level. So if you are capable to do an action to non-return the reaction or the result, you become a non-returner. And that's how it becomes. The simple thing is this: if you have the suffering, your next moment is going to become suffering. If you have the happiness, your next moment going to become happiness. And if you have the non-return action, you're going to become a non-returner. That means you're not going to come back. Maybe you go somewhere, it's from that place, I don't know where it is, but from that place, you're going to, you're not going to come here. All this, crazy, wild, it's called, what is that called? Wild West. When you look into the very reality of life, what is that? Look at this, recently I went through this, the movie, the categories. What are those? Because the movies bring us the characters. They build the characters. They build up the concept, ideas, thoughts, the world. As like the Star Trek movies, build up this whole, the shift to the society, to the science in a certain way. So like that, the martial art movies, build up all the martial art to the world. It's kind of like these movies. So, but when it go to that, what is that? Thriller movies, drama, horror, action, you know. So that's the very behavior of our life. That's what we experience in every day. Well, mostly drama, action, horror. So those kind of things. And when you are capable to, get out of that nature from you, you're not going to experience, because the very nature, what we input things, we release to outside. That's why when you watch dramas, your life is going to become drama. When you watch horror, your life become horror. Kind of like a horror movie. You always kind of like a zombie, demons, vampires, you like. So the same thing with the people who ever do these video games. See that what happened, that the Malaysian airline disappeared a few years ago, and that now final report came. Don't know it is true or not, but the pilot, he always used to do that in his room. He built up that, the videos and everything, and he went through kind of like a mental sickness, and he took the flight to the, disappeared. So we can't have a life, different life out of that, our perception. So then you know what's going to happen to you. How you know? When you are capable to understand your perception, you perceive, you know your life. So then get that self-understanding and know yourself, what kind of things you watch, what kind of things you hear, what kind of things you smell, what kind of things you eat, what kind of people you associate, and what kind of thoughts you think. Then you know what will happen for you tomorrow. And then that is the very conventional way of understanding. But our purpose is not to maintain that life like that. We need the change. How then you can do the change? So that's why we take a different avenue, different path. Rather than go with that, we go inward and see our experience. And once you see that, the very behavior, the causation is bring together, these things bring together and bring the experience. Now we go into it separate. When you are capable to separate, it becomes powerless. When it becomes powerless, it cannot come as an action. So once the system becomes powerful, little by little, and then you know. Another thing is, another way to access for this. So that is the very authentic, classic way of access to this insight, with the awareness and with the mindfulness and with the understanding and with the Vipassana knowledge. That is the very classic way. But another way, as in a conventional life, like as a very apply for the moment, whatever the situation you go through, take the responsibility. Don't throw it to somebody. Take the responsibility to you first. So that will help you to take you out of the engage with the outside. So take the responsibility. And then when you have ability to practice yourself, then you can go into the method that what I explained. So that is a kind of like a science. That's a method That's the kind of like a wisdom path. That's a kind of like education you gain to yourself to recognize. Out of that recognition, you bring the change. But ultimately, out of this all, remember, the wisdom path, the power, the main purpose of the wisdom is bringing the change to ourselves. Out of relationships, friendships, out of that whatever you work or your profession, your studies, out of your behavior, practice, the ultimately, the very bottom purpose is bringing the change. So this practice is kind of like a, step stones. It brings little by little to us. So in the beginning, then remember to settle down, and out of that and bring your awareness, make it sharp and clear, and little by little, then bring the ability to see your own mind and develop a kind of like actions that whatever happened as a mental action in you, and try to make it as a non-return action. So, and that way, you will see, you will reach to a place to be a non-return. So with that, let's get into practice little bit. So your right palm on your left hand, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy, 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens in the beginning, recognize inhalation as inhalations, exhalations as exhalations. Do nothing extra. And by the time, bring the attention to your inside and see how your mind works moment by moment. Just try to see it without reacting to it. If your mind become busy or go here and there, bring back to the breathing and settle down a little bit. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once. Like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chamni sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjisami idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless.